going on, Dark Souls freaks and fanatics? I'm here for what'll probably be, I guess, the third to last video in this Dark Souls series. I'm hoping and assuming I'll be able to get through Manus' realm and kill him all in one fell swoop, and then do the last video just invading and killing Gwen. But right now I'm beginning the Oolacile Township, which is kind of the last big zone that has any like secret passageways or shortcuts or anything like that to really explore. It used to be a pretty good place to get invaded because of its proximity to the arena, but at this point, and 5 years into a game's life cycle, there's just not that many people queuing up for arena. So if you get invaded, that's a rare and special thing. So I do not get invaded, unfortunately, on this run through. But a few things to keep in mind in this zone. There are at least two, I think maybe three invisible walls. There are these bastards who hit hard as fuck, especially if you're not wearing a lot of armor like I am. But they're pretty damn easy to backstab. But they like to spin, they like to swing. They look gross, but they're not that threatening. They're only threatening if you let them gang up on you. The real threat are the ones who cast spells, because this is the introduction of dark magic. I'm going to be picking up some spells here and in the next zone that you'll recognize from Dark Souls 2, where I've never really messed with them in Dark Souls 2 because you kind of wanted to be level capped and then use them, because a lot of times they drain your spells, and it's one of those things where like the spells are more powerful, or not drain your spells, drain your souls. It's one of those things where it's great if you have, you know, millions of souls saved up and that sort of thing. But I might mess with them just for fun a bit, just to demonstrate them. But I'm having a lot of success with my Crystal Soul Spear and regular Soul Spear. That is a shortcut which I will be unlocking there to my left. The key is just to go, take your time. You don't need to sprint through this place. There are a ton of ledges. This place is just the definition of dying to gravity, as that stupid motherfucker just proved. So these guys are in their own backyard and falling off shit. So what you don't want to do, I mean, they designed it this way on purpose. When you fight them, lateral movement is the key to not getting hit by their spells or their swings. So of course you're going to do lateral movement right over an edge. I should have used a more powerful spell. My spells aren't hitting as strong because I've got this helmet on, and I got this helmet by doing the shortcut into Izalith in order to save Solar, and basically it's a helmet that allows me to have constant illumination, and it makes secret passageways open up, or at least become revealed. In the event that I were to play through again on New Game Plus, it would be super convenient to have this helmet in places like the Tomb of Giants, but I'm a sorcerer, I can always cast light. But for other characters, having this helmet can be hugely advantageous, and it looks pretty goddamn badass. You're just wearing this weird little sun maggot on your face that at one point was gonna make one of your buddies go crazy. What can I say otherwise about Oolacile? I don't really know the lore here, unfortunately. That's me very deliberately getting Chester the Molester, as I like to call him, to invade. Chester is a dex build and shoots a lot of crap at you, and it sucks. He's the same really cool looking dude who looks like V for Vendetta up above, whose gear I'm going to be getting eventually. But he can be kind of powerful, but once again, the big danger is you're dodging laterally away from his attacks and you fall over an edge. So I'm just coming back here where there's a little bit more room to maneuver, and I'm going to take his ass out. Oh, he's using a crossbow, so maybe he's not a dex build. I don't know what he is, but he is about to die one way or another. Soul spears in your face! So, anyway, he's gone bye-bye. That actually would be a pretty cool cosplay, running around that outfit with the crossbow. All you would need is a gun, and you would officially be a character from Bloodborne. So right here there are two ways that you can go. One is the more obvious way. If you're planning on doing a full clear, then you want to go this way first. If you're just trying to get through it, then go straight. But I like going this way because there's a few little spells and items, and there's one really powerful item called the Silver Pendant, I believe, which is absolutely phenomenally overpowered for when you fight Manus. It's basically this charm you can use in place of your Estus, and as long as you keep spamming it, you just keep creating this force field around you, and any dark magic that gets hurled at you just reflects, and sometimes it gets reflected back on the caster, so it can be extremely effective. So I'm gonna go snag it, because I might try and use it on Manus. I've never had that much trouble with Manus. Here's a secret wall. Yeah, there's the Sunlight Maggot in action doing its thing. And I believe this is the silver pendant that I've been boasting and bragging about. There it is. So if you like just changing up your gameplay and giving sorcerers what for with a taste of their own medicine, pop that sucker on. I highly recommend it. It's definitely one of the most powerful items in all of Dark Souls. Where is that fucker? There it is. Booyakasha. And it doesn't last very long, but you can just keep spamming it. Just pop, 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 and you can just keep that thing up indefinitely. I don't know if things can melee you while that's happening. I've never really experimented with that much. So there is, when you fight Manus in the next zone, he does have a point in the fight where he just unleashes all this horrible fucking magic, and it's really, really useful to have on at that point. If you can remember to have it kind of keyed up and ready to go, and if you recognize the facial tick or the tell when he's about to do that, then you can use it effectively. I don't think I've ever successfully reflected Manus' spells back on him, but I've seen people do it in videos, so I know it is possible. I've had some really, with my previous playthrough, I had some really amazing PvP wars down here where I was totally, completely on the receiving end because I was still kind of learning the game, and there was a guy who had a faith build. And faith build in Dark Souls 1 is just insanely overpowered and really fun. And every time I would be on a ledge, like around a wall, like setting up an ambush, he would just get on the other side of the wall and do a Wrath of the Gods, which is like boom, boom, shoots everything out in all directions, and I would fall to my death. And anyway, I felt like an idiot. This room's really hard. These guys, they cast their spells insanely quickly, and they hit like a truck. So just trying to swap off spells with them is not smart. And I totally forgot this guy was here. I shrieked when I was playing this. Luckily his back was to me. But that gives you the I'm sorry carving. Some people love using these carvings. I always forget that I even have the damn things, but they are useful for communicating with other players in co-op and in PvP. It's also kind of a fun thing to do to mock people when you kill them in PvP and you drop the I'm sorry carving. Like, I'm sorry. But these are just ways to do more role-playing in the world of Dark Souls. I'm just waiting for him to kind of cast himself out, and God, he almost knocked me off the fucking wall. But Crystal Soul Spear in your face. Can't hang with that. So now there's only one in here, he'll be dramatically easier. I'll probably still get hit. Of course I did. Because I get hit by these guys every single time they cast a spell, it seems. But now he dead, and I've got his helmet. His helmet is kind of cool looking. I mean, basically just gives you the exact same head that they have. And you can upgrade it, I believe. Dark Orb, I believe, is the spell they're casting. Now I can cast it. Actually, I don't know if it has a faith requirement or an intelligence requirement. I'll need to check. It very well might have a faith requirement. I'm not sure. But that headpiece I just picked up makes my head look like theirs, and it's got massive poison resist. I've never been able to figure out what this ledge is for, apart from maybe, I don't know, like goading people to you in PvP, or maybe it's a way of kind of like blasting spells and arrows at people. I don't really know why it's there, but it's there. And anyway, like I said, one of my most notorious horrible PvP experiences where I got my ass kicked was in this building, so I'm sure we used it during that exchange. So this room is now finished. Now it's just a matter of getting back over to the building that I rolled off of to get over here, and I'm just, because I've been through here so few times, I just don't have it 100% memorized. Like Undead Burg, I can almost play that place blindfolded because you just run through it over and over and over again. But Oolacile, once you've cleared it, unless you're planning on PvPing, you probably won't ever run through it again. There's just no real reason. Unless there's something that you can farm from the mobs that I'm unaware of. But our goal in this is not to farm random drops. Our goal in this is to get through the zones, find all the stuff that you can find that's just normal items, kill the bosses, and move on to Dark Souls 3. Because after this video, I've got Manus' area, and then I've got the last boss, and then we're through. So what I'm doing now is, because I'm so close to the bonfire, and I've already used a lot of spells and flasks, I'm just running back up real quick to heal and kind of reset. I won't have to kill that much trash to get back to where I was, but I just feel like since I'm going to be going the other way now, I might as well take advantage of this little pit stop while I can. Also, I've got 36,000 souls. Not a bad idea to eat some other souls and do a little level up. So just porting back to Firelight Shrine so that I can get my 20 flasks and then back in business. So yeah, I'm just equipping the souls. I think I need like 51,000 now to pass the level. So it's getting expensive. I'm just messing with the bloated sorcerer head. You see me standing still right now because I was hopping onto the internet just to look up the stats, because when you look up the description it says that it's mildly enchanted. It's like, thanks fuckers. That's one thing that's crazy about Dark Souls is that the gear in Dark Souls, they'll say this item is enchanted and then tell you nothing about what it actually does, and they just let the community figure it out. And I don't know if they'll ever do something like that again. That player looks pretty badass, and I try to summon them, but for whatever reason it doesn't work. This is me just waiting to see. It probably wasn't even a smart idea for me to try and summon somebody to help, because they would be annoyed by my doing the full clear. They're probably just interested in... Actually, I don't know why they'd want to be summoned here, because there's no boss at the end of it. They're just the gateway to another zone. Maybe they just want to do some farming. Who the hell knows, but it didn't work, so it is a non-issue. So yeah, I'm just fast forwarding. You've seen me kill these guys before. There's no reason to watch me melee again. I'm actually having fun kind of fighting with the dagger. I'm trying to be a little more conservative with my spells, because now that I've got different spells equipped, I don't have quite as many blasts to use. Plus, I've been kind of doing the boring thing of just shooting spells the whole playthrough. It's kind of nice to do some backstabs. These guys, even though they're more spellcasters, they can hit real hard with their melee. I mean, I get hit a hell of a lot by these guys. I'm so afraid of moving suddenly in this area that I'm willing to take a few hits. Maybe I'm just making excuses for poor gameplay, but I'd rather take a few shots than die to fall damage. So what I'm doing now is just taunting some people. There's a couple of these, I don't know what the hell these things are, whatever the hell their names are. I wouldn't know the first thing about what the names are. They're just disgusting. I'm just trying to get my bow equipped, because I am going to be using it. This is Sorcerer, one of them that's placed in a really, really disadvantageous position for knocking you off things, and I just like to kill him with a poison arrow. Up ahead is a Mimic. So down below, way up to the left, that's the Sorcerer you have to be aware of. And this is a Mimic who would love nothing more than to kick you off this giant area. But it's a pretty big, wide open area, and if you can't fight a Mimic at this point in an area this big, then you might as well find another game. Anyway, I've been dodging and running away from Mimics the entire playthrough, but now it's time to show what I can do. Take that dagger in the ass. Yeah, didn't like that. So, what else is going on? Last night was a phenomenal UFC in Vancouver. It wasn't one of the pay-per-views. It was one of the ones on Fox Sports 1. But it's a sport that is totally unpredictable in terms of, there's some nights where if you're trying to explain to people why you like UFC, and you'll say, hey, let's sit down and watch this, it's going to be amazing. And there's like 6 greatest fights of all time are going to be on tonight. I'm logging out real quick just because there's a crystal lizard here. And you'll invite people over, and there'll be 6 decisions in a row or 5 decisions in a row, and it's just so tedious and so boring, and no one likes it. And then on another non-event night where you don't expect anything really dramatic to happen, and then all of a sudden it's just finish after finish after finish. But anyway, last night was one of the nights where I thought it'd be good, but it totally exceeded my expectations. First fight of the card, you had Jim Miller versus Joe Lauzon in a rematch. These are 2 just tough Yankees who are really good at jiu-jitsu, have 0 quit in them, tons of respect for each other. They beat the fuck out of each other for 3 rounds and had this incredible show of respect for each other at the end. That was awesome. They also had the lovely young Paige Van Zandt fighting. Paige Van Zandt is a 22-year-old beautiful girl from California who was just on Dancing with the Stars and got pretty deep into it before she decided to return to her true love of fighting. And yeah, she beat the crap out of this girl from the UK. In the first round, she did this flying, like spinning roundhouse kick that the girl kind of disdainfully backed up and was like, what, you're throwing that in a fight? Like, you honestly think that's going to land? And so the girl's being a little cocky. In the beginning of the second round, Paige Van Zandt did another flashy move where she jumped and kind of faked with her right leg kick in the air. And as the girl put her arms down to block the kick, which is very stupid, you never want to put your arms all the way down to block a low kick, Paige, while still in the air, comes around with a flying left roundhouse to the face and knocks the girl out. So yeah, Paige Van Zandt at age 22 is just a superstar. She's, I think, won either 3 or 4 times in the UFC, lost once, and has the most finishes of any strawweight fighter. It's 115 pounds. People don't watch. Another big fight that was last night. Who the hell? The reason I'm talking about all this fighting stuff is because this is really tedious when I'm doing. I'm just cheesing it. I'm shooting poison arrows at this guy because I know I can just hang back. He'll slowly die. If you try to run across this bridge, he will just pummel you to death with those spells. And if the spells don't knock you off the ledge, they'll just kill you from outright damage. And at this point, I'm just ready to clear the content, clear the game, and get back to Dark Souls 3. I can remember the main event last night was Damian Maya versus Carlos Condit, but there was something huge that happened right before that as well. But yeah, I'm totally blanking on it. Damian Maya was awe-inspiring. I mean, he's the number 3 welterweight and he's fighting the number 4 welterweight, and he choked out Carlos Condit in 38 seconds. I mean, that was just dizzying in its implications, because obviously now Damian Maya is going to fight the winner of Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and oh my god, I'm blanking on the name of the champ at welterweight. He just got the belt. What the fuck is his name? Anyway, Damian Maya at age 38 might be the most dangerous jiu-jitsu practitioner in mixed martial arts in any weight class. He's incredible. I remember the other big fight was Anthony Pettis. Anthony Pettis fought Oliveira in this 3-round war of just attrition and jiu-jitsu and wrestling and striking and blood and hell and fury. And then, even though Oliveira is more known for his jiu-jitsu in the 3rd round, Pettis slapped on a choke, choked his ass out. And then this beautiful display of sportsmanship, as they were separating and kind of congratulating one another, Oliveira gave Anthony Pettis a kiss on the cheek. And, you know, the Brazilians in the sport are just so chill and so cool and have so much respect for the ground game, their jiu-jitsu, and have much respect for you, my friend, and all that good stuff. And it was just MMA at its best, seeing these guys after this brutal battle, just showing how, you know, this is still just healthy competition. Anyway, it was an awesome night of mixed martial arts, and it's just a fresh reminder of why it's the only sport that I watch. I'm looking for secret walls. There's definitely one more in this building. I was just being on the safe side. Now here you can do a plunging attack. This spellcaster is you definitely want to take him out with a plunging attack because it's made for it. Of course, my dagger didn't fucking kill him, so now he's going to start blasting my face with these awful fucking spells, and I've got this asshole swinging his giant arms at me, so I panic and I run away because this room is full of these fuckers. This is one of the more dangerous areas in terms of getting ganged up on by a lot of these guys at once. So if you just take your time and you're patient, you can tease them out one at a time and beat the hell out of them. They are not hard by themselves, but close to impossible in groups. I really need some titanite chunks so I can finish my great scythe, but I keep getting shards or slabs. I get everything in the middle, but I'm not getting the chunks that I need. And this guy, I'm just going to zap him in the face with a spell because that's what I do. Skadoosh, you're dead. So approaching this next area, you gotta be super careful because there is one more spellcaster up on like the balcony above, and he will shoot you from that balcony. But if you kind of get his attention then back up, he will drop down and pursue you, which is what I'm gonna do. Oh yeah, those spellcasters, man, they just are not to be trifled with. I'm getting some of my spells ready. Yeah, I'm being probably a little too cautious with my arsenal of spells. There's just so many ads down here to fight. I was just worried about running out of spells and not having them when I need them. I'd rather have them and not need them than need them and not have them. So there's the guy. He's up on that little balcony, and if I shoot some of the other people below him, that should get his attention. But there's already a guy chasing me, so I'm just gonna run away for the time being. Another big thing that happened in the world of entertainment today that has me excited was the trailer for Westworld dropped. Now, we'd already had a trailer before. Good God. I did not see he'd already dropped down. So he is ready to beat my ass, but luckily, I'm going to get hit in the face like a dumbass. That's how I fight. I always like to take a lick before I finally do what I'm supposed to do. But Westworld, for people who do not know what it is an HBO show. It is based on a 1973 movie, I think, from the novelist Michael Crichton, who wrote a little book called Jurassic Park that people may have heard of. Anyway, Westworld, pretty simple concept. It's essentially a vacation resort that's like the Wild Wild West, but like Ex Machina or any other kind of movies about AI and robotics, some of these robots start having kind of like self-awareness and thoughts or souls or whatever, and so it's half sci-fi, half Western, and I love sci-fi and I love Westerns. So it's kind of like they made the show with me in mind. Also, there was a very, very notorious casting announcement that went out for extras last year when they were working on the show. And the description of what the extras would be called upon to do on the set rapidly became the stuff of legend, because it was talking about all the things that have to be willing to do for certain scenes, because obviously part of Westworld, part of the appeal is wealthy guys go there and go to the saloons and hang out with whores and all that kind of stuff. So the extras were going to have to be comfortable with like genital to genital touching and wearing like fur patches to like simulate pubic hair, and be on all fours and ridden like an animal. It went on and on and on and on and on, and just the wording wasn't clinical. It was just almost it was so blasé and so casual about all this stuff. It was quite shocking for some people. For me, I thought it was hysterical, because at this point, every single HBO show we know eventually is going to be very thinly veiled softcore porn, kind of masquerading as an actual show. I mean, would anybody have watched True Blood past season 1 if it hadn't been filled with really, really hot vampires and really, really hot humans boning on a regular basis? Anyway, this guy from that room, if you just get his attention, he'll run around. There's a couple guys that you can get to come to you. The treasure chest across from this balcony is a mimic. And so what I'm trying to do is get his attention and wake him up with a poison arrow. And then this is a weird jump right here. You have to kind of sprint and keep sprinting as you turn left and do a kind of running jump. But if you try to roll, you'll miss, and if you don't do the turn, you'll miss. But I'm not going to do it until the mimic's up and about, because I'm going to try and poison him first. But I try unsuccessfully. Spoiler alert. I don't even know if mimics can be poisoned. So, but I'm just being real cowardly and real patient, just because I'm trying to play as conservatively as possible. I don't know why I'm playing so conservatively, but at a certain point, I just get impatient and bored and decide to take on the mimic. Plus, I just keep missing, and I'm wasting all my poison arrows. And I don't think I'm going to need the poison arrows the rest of the game, but, I mean, I've got them, so I might as well save them for a special purpose if that special purpose ever emerges. Maybe I'll shoot some down at Manus from above at the end of the Abyss area in the next zone. But yeah, I'm just popping them. It's not doing a damn bit of good. A little bit of water. Tonight I'm suffering from massive heartburn for the first time in my life. So much that I didn't even know what it was. I was like, why do my lungs feel so weird? My lungs, am I catching a cough? And finally I realized I was like tasting like kind of like acid and kind of burping. And I looked it up and I was like, oh, this is fucking heartburn. You're just, I ate a spicy dinner, and so I'm just suffering from that. And so chomp some Tums, now I'm chugging some water, and I'm feeling molto bene. So actually, molto bene means very good, not much better, but it works well enough. Makes me sound sophisticated. So that's the jump. It's time to just fight this guy to death and dodge some attacks. They're not very threatening when you get over your fear of getting grabbed, because the grab still is pretty much insta-death. But just when they go back like that with the arms, don't let them grab you. It's pretty simple. Like a hit, it's not going to hurt you that bad. It's when they go straight back and come down with the arms. Or when you back up like an idiot, like you see me in the previous videos, and they do their jumping, flying spin kick, and you just take it to the face like a scrub. Like I've done at least 5 times in this video series. Crest key, that is huge. That's going to be an important item for taking on Kalameet, who's the coolest dragon in all of Dark Souls by far, in my opinion. Some people might disagree, and if they have a different opinion, that's all right. Internet's such a strange place where if you have a different opinion, you have to just name call and resort to open warfare, and it's a very, very silly environment, and I'm trying to be more open-minded to other points of view. I may totally, completely, utterly disagree, but I'm just trying not to view every difference of opinion as an invitation for a knockdown, drag-out brawl. Because here's what I've noticed. As fun as that might be in the short term, talking shit online and saying silly things and all that good stuff, and I enjoy a good shit-talking session as much as anybody. What happens is, after 30, 40 minutes, you're constantly checking to see what they said so you can have your next response. It's kind of like a game almost, like, oh, let's keep this going, let's keep talking shit. But at the end of it, it's emotionally draining. It's taxing. You feel tired. There's like an energy sink or a crash. And it's like, well, why am I wasting any of my time insulting someone I've never met, who I will never talk to again? There's nothing to be gained from it. In that time, I could have gone for a jog. I could have taken a nap. I could have written a movie review. I could have called a family member and told him I love him. There are a million things I could have done that would be useful and productive, and or even just sitting here quietly in thought. But any use of my time would be better than just talking crap with strangers online. So I just ain't gonna do it. The only time I'll really avoid or block people outright on Twitter is not over difference of opinion, but if someone's just insanely aggressive and nasty and just blatantly trying to troll and be a dick and like provoke, I'm like, well, look, you came to pick a fight, and as you know, I'm just as you would say as a kid, I'm not playing. You just saw that's the last secret wall in the zone. I've now got this red titanite chunk. I don't need it, but anyway, that secret wall is available to you if you choose to take advantage of it. What was it? Oh, but it reminded me of that great line from South Park when Cartman would just be not getting his way, and you just say, "Screw you guys, I'm going home," which is kind of my new attitude on the internet when I'm fighting with anybody. I'm just going to say that. I'm out of there. So now it's time to unlock the shortcut back up to the top of the Oolacile Township. You can take a left there if you want, but I wouldn't recommend it. You do have the option of unlocking this shortcut here and going back to the bonfire and getting your spells back, getting your flasks back, all that good stuff, which is what I'm going to do because there are a couple spellcasters up ahead, and as you will soon see, I'm not very good at taking them on. I flat out suck, if I'm going to be totally honest. So I wish the shortcut were a little bit closer to because now, I mean, there's a couple of mobs between here and the shortcut, but I guess I shouldn't complain. It's a shortcut. So putting on my spellcaster hat, I'm skipping the mobs, hopping on the elevator, going back down, and now it's time to take on these pieces of shit. So there's like 4 or 5 of the melee guys kind of tucked away on the sides who will come out and start trying to beat you to death while the spellcasters zap you. And if the spellcasters gang up on you, they can kill you in 2 or 3 shots, especially when you let them hit you in the back between the shoulder blades. It's like, gadoosh! And your head flings back. It's very dramatic, but they will chase you. Once you have their attention, they don't have a huge range. They will follow you back up. But I was thinking I could be cool and dodge side to side. I'm demonstrating the silver pendant. See how I went straight up? That's pretty cool. But I just wanted to show off this item at least once if I choose not to use it on Manus. And so here they come. Yeah, so even melee guys can't get in. But after I've stopped using it, 2 spells in the back, I'm toast. So anyway, it was worth it just to demonstrate the silver pendant. It makes you feel like a fucking superhero. So, I'm sorry I keep getting distracted. I feel like there's like a snake under my carpet underneath my feet. It keeps like moving. I think it's just a board that's shifting, but it keeps terrifying me that like any second something's gonna bite the fucking shit out of me while I'm recording. So I keep looking down and back at the screen. So at any rate, now I'm whipping up the poison arrows. I'm gonna taunt these guys and bring them over to me. And yeah, if you suddenly hear me scream in pain, you know the answer, but I don't know what the hell is going on. Maybe it's new neighbors moving back in. I live in a building in New York, which has a lot of kids from NYU, and so they party their faces off, and they're all coming back from their summer break right now, and they're all moving in, so the building's gotten considerably more distracting as of late, which is fine, because I enjoy it when there's a bit of life. Pretty girls always is nice, too. They won't come all the way up for you to hit your spells, but at least they're separated from the other guys, so it makes them pretty easy to take out one at a time. So I'm just waiting for him to shoot the wrong way, and I'm going to go whoop his arse. You definitely, if you're a spellcaster, want to save a few powerful spells, because after these guys, you have to fight a mob who can be kind of sort of challenging. If you're a melee guy, you can see him way back in the distance, but I'm going to beat him so soundly, you're not even going to really get a chance to see his moveset. But he's got kind of an interesting moveset, and you can farm him. You can fight him again and again and again and farm some interesting mats. So, I don't know, if you really want to see his moveset, you can come back on your own. But for me, I kind of accidentally just wreck his face really, really quickly. Every once in a while, I'll bump into something that's really weak against magic and not know it. And so one Crystal Soul Spear, God, I'm so bad at that. He's laughing at me. I mean, he's literally laughing at me. He's dead now. But I just cannot dodge those fucking dark orbs. They are so powerful. And man, at this point, I've got like vitality 37 or something like that. But they still hit me for like half my health. Alright, now I kind of screw up here and I kind of panic. I'm trying to get the soul mass going, but the soul masses aren't targeting them for some reason, or at least not that well. And so I start to kind of freak out. So I'm going to run away and get hit some more. But what's cool about Crystal Soul Spear is that it does go through your enemies, and I remember that. Ooh, the 3 altogether. Bam. Blast 1. It kills 2, and I almost got a triple off that. Triple's pretty cool when you get one, but almost had a triple, but not quite. Crystal Soul Spear, though, is definitely your jam if getting triples is your thing. I saw an extraordinary PvP video the other day. I think it's called like Sunstream, or I can't remember what the channel is, but it's a really, really popular Dark Souls channel. It's covered Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, and does highlight videos of PvP that people send in their clips to be included in his highlight reels. And this person did this thing where he got a bunch of dead bodies in an area and got himself real weak ahead of time. And then he went out and baited 3 players to follow him near those bodies, and he cast a spell which made the bodies explode, which killed everybody all at once. Anyway, here's this guy. He's got like a ball and chain. Between my Crystal Soul Spear and the thing over my head, he just instantly died. So anyway, no fight. But it's incredible the lengths to which Dark Souls players will go to get a great video clip. I feel like the PvP community, the incentive, like I remember when I played World of Warcraft, the incentive was to like go up in rankings, because you go up in rankings, then you can buy different PvP gear, which gives you a slight advantage the next time around. You would kind of like slowly but surely over a long period of time, incrementally improve your character in terms of PvP. But it seems that the Dark Souls community is mostly just a lot of people making videos and seeing who can like show the most skill or the most unconventional build or the most humorous builds. And I fucking love watching PvP videos. So I might start recording some of that when I get back into Dark Souls 3, just on the off chance that someone does something amazing to me, because the research and time and devotion that people put into these crazy strategies and these crazy builds, I'm always staggered by just their depth of knowledge of the game. But yeah, in my next video, I'll mention I'll come back with the name of that channel that I love watching so much, because it's really incredible, these videos he puts together. So now it is time to, this is the beginning of Manus' zone, but I'm not going to do that zone now because I feel like fighting a boss. A video should never end without a boss fight. So this is going to make the video a little longer, but I'm going to go take on motherfucking Kalameet. But I want to spend some souls first, just because I don't want to fight Kalameet with any souls on the person, because I have lost souls to him in the past, and I don't want to do that again. I'm just shy of getting him a level, but I remember there's an NPC who appears near where Artorias died, and I just want to make sure that I give him the right soul, because he gives me these cool daggers, but I want to use the other soul that I have, the other Guardian soul, to get some more souls for leveling up. But I didn't want to spend a soul on myself until I was absolutely positive which soul I need to give this person. Should have been obvious that I'm going to give him the soul of Artorias because he's in Artorias' area. And I didn't even notice till this playthrough, all this blue blood on the ground, that's all like shit from Artorias. I don't know if that's supposed to be his blood or if that's like his like evil spirit shit that he dragged into the room with him. But if you look behind me, there's this huge slimy trail and the little creature, like, all that crap you can see right there on the right. That's all Artorias' shit. And I guess it just stays there. But I never noticed that until this playthrough, because I don't know. I was probably too busy playing dress up to notice something as obvious as a giant trail of blue blood on the ground. So yeah, I'm spinning the souls, and I've mentioned this in the past, I always fuck up the order in which you meet Kalameet and then meet this giant who shoots him down, and then anyway, you run down here. I'm going to show you the wrong way, because no matter how many times I play this game, I'm always going to do it in the wrong order of operations. But you run down here. What you have to do is you have to climb down this ladder at the end and let Kalameet actually attack just once before you can go request help. I make the mistake of just, as soon as I see him fly by, thinking that I'm good to go. But the big thing to be aware of also down here is you get these little poison dogs. And these dogs are kind of hard to hit. They are great at leaping away. They're great at leaping sideways. They look a little different from normal dogs. I think they look way cooler than the usual dogs. But yeah, they do put a little poison on you. If you have the Great Scythe equipped, you're going to swing that fucker sideways with power attack, and they are so fucked, because the wolves like jumping to the side, but if you're fighting someone with a Great Scythe, that doesn't do a goddamn bit of good. Or if you've got a giant great sword or a claymore or something like that, same thing. Just do your wide attacks. On my next playthrough, whatever it might be, I might have to go back to using a giant claymore. I just really enjoy using claymores. They do take a lot of stats sometimes. But we'll see. I'm still debating what build I'm going to use on Dark Souls 3. I feel like I should just continue to do sorcery, because I feel like it's kind of like will be the identity of the channel. Like, oh, that's the sorcerer guy. He always plays sorcerer, and he knows a lot about where to find the sorcery spells or blah, blah, blah. Only problem is sorcery is garbage for PvP, and if I plan on doing PvP for the videos, it'd be nice to be able to compete on some level. I mean, I suck at PvP, so I'm not going to be able to compete for a variety of reasons, but I want to make sure I don't accidentally stack the fucking deck against me. That's Kalameet. He just flew by. I thought that I was good, and I'm dumb, because all I need to do is climb down that ladder, but I don't, so I run back. And so, just because I'm a purist, I'm actually showing this part in live action. Not that you need help navigating, but it's kind of been my rule in the video series so far that every time I walk down something into an area and then walk back, I always show it in real time first, just so you really get an idea of the lay of the land. And then from then on, whenever I do it for a second time, then I fast forward it. So it's obvious it's one way, so there's only one way to go back. But just to be consistent, I decided to let this little brief part play in real time. But what I was going to say about being a sorcerer is that in the DLC for Dark Souls 3, which comes out October 25th, there are new spells. And if there are going to be new spells, perhaps those spells are going to be awesome in PvP. I'm imagining with all these frost spells, chances are some of them probably slow your opponents, and I imagine that would be useful. I mean, who knows? It's just pure speculation, and maybe all of a sudden you'll have like everybody playing sorcerer, which would be really annoying. But I have a feeling sorcery and faith, which have both been considered kind of broken in Dark Souls 3, are both going to get fixed and will probably end up being slightly overpowered. That's just a theory, nothing to back it up. But yeah, both builds are getting new spells. Faith is getting those crazy boomerang spells. So anyway, this is me talking to the big giant dude. He's talking about Artorias and what a nice guy I was for letting him die with dignity, and he's talking about the dragons and blah blah blah. I keep hoping he's going to talk about Kalameet, but he doesn't. And this is me just trying to exhaust all the options, getting increasingly frustrated because I realized I made a mistake. What I was going to have to do is run back to Kalameet, and then run back here, and then run back to Kalameet again. And the first time I fought Kalameet, I don't know when. I wish I could remember when my first official Dark Souls clear was, but I really just don't remember when I did that. It was definitely inside the last 6 months, because I was playing Fallout 4 in like November of 2015 through like January of 2016, and I believe then I'd played Dark Souls 1 for a while, then went back to Dark Souls 2, and then did my faith build clear of Dark Souls 1 in anticipation of the release of Dark Souls 3, and then I played Dark Souls 3 from like April, May, June, then took like 2 months off a gaming period just for work, and then in August got back into gaming. So I've been gaming hardcore again for the last few weeks, but I don't know why I'm talking about that. I got distracted. I was going somewhere with something I was thinking about, but I fucked it up. Alright, so I just saw the a little crystal lizard, so I thought I would go get him, but I'm going to fuck it up a few times. But crystal lizard spawns there. You got to log in and out to make him appear again. Thing is, this is a boss room, so you cannot appear right in the exact same spot. You appear back outside of the where the fog gate will be. So running back in. So going back to the whole sorcery thing, I think what I probably will do in Dark Souls 3 is do my next video series and walk through as sorcerer, and so that I at least will have a sorcerer ready to go exactly at the end. What I'll do is I'll basically clear all of Dark Souls 3, but I won't go into New Game Plus. I'll just leave it as is with everything cleared, but with all the NPCs still up, so that when Dark Souls 3 DLC comes out, I can just dive right into it. So yeah, that didn't work, and now I'm going to blast him with the spell. Okay, my dagger with the thunder text is not doing it. whole heck of a lot of damage. Luckily, he does not see you when you're above him, so you can target him pretty easily, including with the spell. So skadoosh, dead. I don't need to roll down here, but you can roll down here, so I'm just going to do it just for the sake of variety and shits and giggles. You can, yeah, you don't want to fall all the way down because you'll die. You can just kind of hop between the different ledges, and you're covered. So Kalameet, let's talk Kalameet. He's a really, really interesting boss. Right now, he can fly, and he's just going to keep flying. And the only way I can kind of bait him into attacking is by, obviously it's a trap, they're just trying to get you killed. You just grab one, and then run back to the wall, and he won't nuke you. Or if you're really resistant to fire, you can probably hang with him, but if you're really good at archery, you can shoot him as he flies through, but yeah, I saw the sign. There it is. Just blasts everything, and then he takes off. So now I'm like, alright, motherfucker. Game on. So fast forwarding it, it's time to run back to Gog or whatever his name is, or Go, and we're gonna wing this dragon and get him down on the ground. Kalameet has a couple of really cool attacks. He's got his little like red diamond thing on his face where he'll kind of focus at you and like raise you up in the air, and he basically weakens you dramatically. I'm just experimenting with spells here, seeing which ones I want to use, and I realize I haven't even used White Dragon Breath yet, but I can't demonstrate it unless I have a target, so I haven't successfully used it yet on this playthrough. Yeah, before I fight Gwen, I'll probably demonstrate all the spells just so we can see what they do. Yeah, Kalameet, he's got these like flying leap attacks where he jumps forward that are pretty easy to block or dodge. He's got these claw attacks. He has an attack where he flies straight up in the air and shoots a breath weapon down. You gotta roll back and away from it. He's got another one where he shoots his breath weapon out in front of him from left to right or right to left. And you're going to see, I think, pretty much every single attack he's got. And I'm going to get hit by almost all of them before I shake the cobwebs out of my head and beat the fuck out of them. But they use, to go back to MMA, they use that expression ring rust. And, you know, if you've been out of the ring for a long time, you get rusty and you kind of forget how to fight. Same thing happens here. If you haven't fought a boss in a while, you get a little ring rust. But this part is easy. You just talk to him, and he gets pissed. Or not pissed. He has like weary resignation. Whips out his giant great bow and brings Kalameet down to the ground. Pretty cool. In-game cinematic or cutscene, whatever you want to call it. I always like calling them cinematics because I like movies, but I guess it's a cutscene. That's pretty cool. So, like, while he's doing that, you just kill the fucker while you're at it. The other big thing about Kalameet, which I've never successfully done, is you can chop off his tail and get one of the most powerful greatswords in the game. I think it's like a black obsidian greatsword or some black great. It's something huge and black and dangerous and powerful. And for people who like wielding greatswords, it is definitely worth the effort. The problem is the opportunities to hit him in the tail don't come very frequently. And even in videos that show how to do it, it's a long, brutal, painful, annoying process knocking that tail off. And then you still have to fight him and kill him. So it just sucks. So I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to be wielding it. And at this point, I'm ready for this video series. I'm not that I'm like, I mean, I'm enjoying the fuck out of doing this video or these series because I've never done one before. And I'm just excited at this point to put a bow on it, say, hey, this is my first official walkthrough, and then move on to some other things. So just now the goal line is in sight. I'm ready to wrap it up effectively with, you know, professionalism, but wrap it up with the same. So that is his head swing attack, which is hard. He likes to stomp, like you just saw there. So watch for the stomps. Don't stand by the back legs. That's his flying leap attack. That's his frontal left to right breath weapon he likes to do. That's another head attack, which you've already seen. I mean, I'm really just trying to find my timing when it comes to heal. What's cool is if you're close to him and he does his breath weapon attack, that's an excellent time to hit him or heal. I'm having a really hard time hitting the spells. I'm having a really hard time keeping the health up. I'm just struggling a little bit. Sounds like it's a claw attack. It's pretty sensible, pretty obvious. That is not what I was worried about. I'm almost dead here. I'm starting to get a little worried. But yeah, just be sensible. Keep your distance. And that's his breath weapon. He shoots straight down. I should have gone 3 rolls back real fast because I've got the light armor to do it, but I got confused and didn't do it. So that is the most dangerous attack. It catches you with a diamond and then raises you up and makes you do these attacks. Luckily, he missed, so I picked at least his most dangerous attack is the one that I successfully dodged. So my big failing on this fight, looking back, is that I kept trying to cast Homing Crystal Soul Mass, thinking that it would allow me to just walk around and block, dodge, and roll and heal, and let the Soul Mass do the damage or do the rest. And what I finally figured out was like, you know what? No one knows my timing better than I do, so why don't I just cast my own spells when I want to? And so it's time to start taking this seriously. Things that have health. I got the Soul Spear ready to go. So it's time to jack you up. Dodging breath weapons, and after that, I mean, once I had my strategy kind of worked out, then it's should have been an easy fight from the get-go. But he's always giving me problems. Very first time I ever fought him, lost. It's humiliating. But now I one-shot him. I guess I'm becoming a pro gamer. Actually, I guess you have to be a pro gamer, you have to actually make money at the game. And at 3 views per video, or whatever it is I've been getting, that's unlikely to happen. Although I did get over 500 for my Dark Souls 3 DLC trailer reaction video, so that was definitely my most popular gaming video yet. My most popular video I've made on the channel to date was my Rogue One: A Star Wars Story reaction. I think that's got like 760, 770. So this channel is like 2.5 months old. So, you know, I'm definitely got high hopes for it and wanted to get more traffic, but for now, the low numbers in the walkthrough haven't really concerned me because I'm just learning how to do walkthroughs, and the big thing I've noticed is that it just makes me play better. I'm so much more focused and I waste just so much less time. It's like, alright, this video we're going to do this, let's fucking do it. And all of a sudden in a game where I used to die a lot of times with bosses, I'm starting to one-shot a lot of bosses that used to give me trouble. So yeah, so the video is absolutely worth it. So just grab the remaining items, and then this area is done. So we've got one major zone, big zone left to do, and it's the zone before Manus, which I really love. It's got a totally different design, and the creatures look totally different from any other part of Dark Souls, so I just love unique environments. Like when you play role-playing games, you know you're eventually going to find like a swamp area, or a fire area, or a desert area, and it's kind of your predictable, generic, interchangeable zones. Manus's zone is utterly unique. It's got weird looking mobs. It's a place of total darkness. I think they definitely saved one of the best zones for last. So if Dark Souls, the original game, ended with one of their shittiest zones, Lost Izalith, the DLC ends with, I wouldn't say one of their best because it's a pretty short zone, but definitely one of the most interesting. It's utterly unlike any other zone they've made. So fast forwarding now, I'm just going to run back. I'm going to report my success to go, just in case. I'm also going to talk to the V for Vendetta guy just because I killed his invader spirits. I didn't know if that would unlock any dialogue options. He's still just a prick, so we're not worried about that. We'll probably come back and kill him in the very last video before we kill Gwen, because after you kill Gwen, you cannot do anything else. When you kill Gwen, you've got a choice for 2 options on the ending, as a good guy or as a bad guy. And so if you plan on killing any NPCs for the gear ahead of time, then you need to go ahead and do it before you take on Gwen. So I'm just talking to this guy, checking out his shit. I don't feel like buying any of this crap, and I'm out of here. So the last thing I'm going to do, I realized I never showed you an NPC vendor who appeared back in the Firelink Shrine, who is now there because of my time in the Tomb of Giants. If you remember, there was that guy, Patches, who's also in Dark Souls 3. In the Tomb of the Giants, he kicked me off that damn ledge and then acted all apologetic about it. Well, he's back here now, and he sells some pretty good stuff. He sells some pretty good armor. He sells, like, humanities. He sells a lot of things. I just wanted to show him because he is a recurring Dark Souls 3 NPC. So he also teaches a gesture prostration, which is always fun for melodrama. He's asking about Shiva, but if you remember, Shiva and his ninja bodyguard I accidentally killed because, well, I was trying to kill the ninja bodyguard to get the ring, but I did not mean to kill Shiva. But he did, so can't take that back. And this guy, he also sells the masks, and those masks are pretty cool. They all have like their own one little weird ability, and they're fun for cosplay, but I'm putting all my souls into my health because I really want to be level 100 at the end. I feel like level 100 would be a nice round number. And I was pretty confident I was going to make it there. Now I'm not so sure. I mean, I'm still a few levels away, and I don't know how many levels I'm going to pass in Madness Zone. So we shall see. You might think you need to go to the Abyss, but the Abyss is where we fought the 4 kings. What we really need to do is go to the Oolacile Township dungeon. So yeah, don't get confused. Manus might be the Lord of the Abyss, but the Oolacile Township dungeon is the entrance to his area. And in here we'll be unlocking a shortcut back down in there from another access point. But that brings this video to a close. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. Check out my podcast on iTunes, Wrong Reel. Check out UFC. Check out all the stuff I've been talking about. But thank you so much for watching. Good night.